Good evening. Have you ever had a time in your life where you were afraid of being in front of a lot of people and speaking? Let me tell you about a time when I was in elementary school and I had to read a poem in front of the entire school. So it started in the fourth grade and I was writing a poem in class and the teacher thought that I wasn't paying attention. So she took my paper and she started to reading it and she was shocked. She said, "This is very good. Like, you should write one for the school and present it during the assembly." I was ashamed and I was kind of like, I can't do it, and didn't really believe in myself at the time, but she insisted that I do it. So I agreed to it and went home, told my parents about the situation, and they were excited and that they would come and listen to my poem. So I get to school that following Friday and had to prepare my poem for the entire school. And as soon as I stepped behind the podium, I looked out into the audience and saw hundreds of faces looking back at me. And I was as still as a statue. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I began to cry. Looking out into the audience, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid. I was like, what if they don't like it? And as I was crying, I looked over at my teacher and she just whispered to me. She said that you can do it. Just breathe and start reading. So I stopped crying. I wiped my face and I looked down at my paper and I just began to read. While I was reading, I started to close my eyes and I kind of felt a little bit better about the poem as I went. And as soon as I finished, the crowd was silent. And then all of a sudden, the entire room stood up and started clapping. And it was like a big relief came over me. And at that point, I knew I could do anything if I put my mind to it. And from that moment on, I continued to write, and the more I wrote, the better I got. But as I got older, I kind of fell back on it, but I still kept that concept in my mind that I could do anything if I put my mind to it.